This is the face you pull when you get a $110,000 brand new 4x4 stuck in a bog hole with the boss in the back seat after he says,
"But don't get us bogged."
No. Whoa, it's pretty deep. Oh no, don't tell me I just got bogged. Today on Aussie Arovos, we're doing something different. We're not in a patrol, we're not in a Land Cruiser, we're in a Grenadier. Now, the Ineos Grenadier is a brand new 4x4 from a brand new car company. It's designed to be a revival of the classic no-nonsense 4x4, rather than the soft SUVs that get around today. It's been in development for 7 years and now have 800 in circulation around Australia. We've been given the chance to try it ourselves off-road on some local tracks. Alright, so we're out here in the Wombat State Forest and we've been invited out here by Ineos to go and try the new Grenadier. So they've given me the hot little keys to a Grenadier Trial Master. This is twin locked, it's 5-link suspension, live axle, so I'm super excited to see how this thing performs, especially compared to, Liam and I's old patrols and Land Cruisers. So let's see how a modern car compares to those old things. Let's get into it. I can't believe they've just given us the car. Like, this is incredible. Just reference, Liam and I have never driven anything like this. Like, nothing this new. Yeah. So this is like just wild.
Nothing even close.
Oh, these seats are good.
Yeah, these are Recaro seats. Yeah, they're pretty nice.
Oh.
It's actually quite roomy too.
Yeah, I know.
You're gonna start it?
Yeah, better, eh? First impressions, what do we think?
Well, it looks like a Land Rover, and that's with intent. This was designed based on a Land Rover Defender. The first thing that jumps out at me, and probably will to you guys as well, is just the amount of accessories already on this thing. So like, straight away, I'm looking at I think it is still a raised air intake. I think that's just sort of to save themselves a little bit so that people don't think, hey, I can drive the car up at this height and it'll be fine. Proper steel tube sliders, T-lock channel system, like on the actual door panels. Oh yeah, so there's Deutsch plug power outlet already wired in and on a switch on the inside as well already.
Which we'll show you the inside in a second because the inside's bloody awesome. All right, so obviously they're all automatic. So this is an 8-speed ZF Auto. Still got the low range box, so center diff lock, all that as you'd be used to in your old school 4-wheel drives. But yeah, and then obviously powered by BMW B57 engine, so straight 6 turbo diesel. So yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to see how this performs in comparison to like my 80 series. There's gonna be a lot to get used to today. Oh, it's got a bit of pull to it.
Got a bit of power.
It actually takes off quite good. So it's a little different because I'm looking at all our speed and everything in the center rather than in front of me. In front of me, I got a small little dash panel here which shows me, any warning lights on the engine, stuff like that. But it's really just the road, and then look here to see what's going on. So I've got tire pressure, I've got temperature, obviously all the fuel, temp, oil, gearbox, transfer case. It's all showing up. So it's pretty cool to have all that sitting right there. First biggest difference, like from driving my car, is just like how quiet it is in here. Like, it's just smooth and quiet, and yeah, that's the biggest thing. Modern cars have really, insulation is like huge in them now. So very quiet and comfy ride. Speaking of engine, Liam, a funny thing that I didn't talk about, this thing's got AdBlue on it. Now, if you don't know what AdBlue is basically
it reduces the emissions out of the exhaust.
The hydrocarbons or something.
System, but it does something.
Trucks use it. So trucks use this stuff, and it carries like 17 liters of it on board, and I think you have to refill it every like 4,000 Ks or something like that. But yeah, it's interesting because I've never driven a diesel with AdBlue or anything like that. Like our old school things, they wouldn't even think about it. But yeah, modern emissions, AdBlue. And yes, you can get a petrol version of this car, but this is obviously the diesel, so this has got like a 90-litre diesel tank on it. So yeah. Another thing, I'm pretty surprised they let us drive a car that's only done 1,600 kilometers. So it's literally brand new. Pretty wild. And we're on the dirt. Yeah, the biggest thing is just so much quieter than my car, just in the cab. Like, yes, the exhaust is loud in my car, but just the engine noise, like I just hear the engine. Whereas this thing is just so much quieter, like it's just unbelievable. So I wonder what they put our tires at, so we can actually check on here. Oh, there you go. All right, so it's still 38 PSI, so I wonder if they'll get us to lower our pressures before we go off-road, but we'll see what happens. Like, what are these, 265 70 R17s?
Yeah, just over a 32.
Just over a 32-inch tyre. And, I mean, you could eventually put 33s on, put a suspension kit in, and this thing would be pretty bloody capable, especially this thing is twin-locked, so out of the box already, it's like pretty bloody strong.
Yeah.
Now, the most important thing for me, being a wagon, is rear access. We've got a ladder on here, which I haven't even tried yet, Liam. Think about, you have a rooftop tent, just use this. Twin barn doors, just like on a patrol or something like that. Heaps of like tie down rails and stuff. They made this thing like really modifiable, and you can really set it up how you want. There's tie down rails on the side here. Obviously it's a 5-seater, so it's not a 7-seater, it's a 5-seater. So all the batteries, so the auxiliary battery, main battery is all located under the seat. And how's that, Liam? They got a C-Tech charger. They have literally the same system we installed in Liam's car like a week ago. Anyway.
So out of the box, 105 amp hour lead acid auxiliary battery.
Now going into the cockpit, which is pretty much what I'd almost call this thing, a cockpit, because the amount of buttons and switches is ready for takeoff. Got the rockets and missiles on there, flares as well. So how's it feel in comparison to your patrol? Do you notice any differences?
Well, it's obviously a lot smoother with the auto working and shifting gears. The steering's a lot lighter. It's probably not as like, I don't know, like body rolly, I guess. The suspension's obviously very dialed in for the weight, as opposed to my patrol that I'm still sort of trying to figure out what the best configuration is. But yeah, you can definitely feel that it's a solid axle in the front though, just in the way the car behaves when you hit a bump. Alright, so we're finally turned off onto Ratcliffe track, I think it's called. And so this is going to be our little taste of four-wheel driving. So there's a little bit of water lying around. We had a fair bit of rain the other day. We'll hopefully come across some, rockier sections, some more off-canvas stuff and that sort of thing. So yeah, it should be, I'm interested to see how we go.
Now for suspension setup, this is live axle. So solid axle, front and rear, which is pretty rare these days. There's not many new cars coming off the factory, apart from what maybe a Mercedes G-Wagon. That's 79. Yeah, but this thing is coil sprung. So coil sprung front and rear, 5-link suspension, which is similar to what's in your 80 series or your Patrol. So panhards, control arms, radius arms, all that sort of stuff in here. So this thing can actually flex pretty well out in the trails. And yeah, there's just nothing really modern coming out with those sort of features. So obviously this is an auto, right? So we've got the hill descent mode on and you can actually adjust the speed you want to go down. So my foot's, I'm not on the brake and it's crawling down the hill real slowly and you can actually adjust how fast you go down the hill using the cruise control button. So if you were to tap that up, you can see we can increase our speed. That's the one thing in autos you're always thinking, oh, how is it going downhill? It's not a manual gearbox, but really it does it easy.
This thing have no problems at all with everything in the high country.
Oh yeah.
I think the real capabilities of the Grenadier, like most other four-wheel drives, come from its factory twin lockers. The fact that it has coil-sprung live axles front and rear is great more from a strength perspective as opposed to increased capability, because without these lockers, I reckon we would have been getting ourselves hung up a whole lot more.
Alright, so we're on Radcliffe track. We've actually got a fair little climb to get out of this valley. When we came down it, there was a fair few rock steps and stuff, so it's going to be really interesting how this goes. We'll just put the rear locker in, so we'll see how we go. But yeah, looking forward to it. Should be a real good test for it. Big things I noticed with the Grenadier off-road was the control given through the ZF Auto. I've always had manual 4x4s, but this really showed me that a well put together auto can not only keep up with a manual, but it can actually outperform it. I would have done it in the 80, but it would have been a lot less glamorous probably.
Way less control.
Just because I'm not as good on the clutch and you have to, balance it a bit more. Whereas in this thing, it's like, yeah, you want to slow down a bit, just back up a little bit, increase a bit, and it's just very controlled. Now, unexpectedly, halfway through this trip, we were joined in the backseat by Justin, who is the head of INEOS Automotive for the Asia Pacific region. So with the big boss in the backseat, I just had to pick his brain and ask some questions. So mate, firstly, massive thanks to Justin for getting a little YouTube channel like us out here to be one of the first ones really to drive a INEOS Grenadier off-road. So firstly, thank you. But Melbourne, there's a bit of a hub for INEOS here, isn't there? Because this is where all the spare parts for this region are all coming out of, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's 3 warehouses around the world, one in Belgium to look after Europe and rest of the world. And then there's one in Melbourne to look after the Asia Pacific region, and we've just stood up one in Raleigh in North America.
Now, I guess the design of the INEOS was to go back to basics in a four-wheel drive. We have all these modern, four-wheel drives that have almost turned into glorified SUVs, really. So the idea of the INEOS, you'd say, was to bring sort of back that rawness to four-wheel driving into the car, where you still have creature comforts, but you really approach it in more of a, utilitarian, utility basis way, where it's back to basics.
Yeah, exactly. We felt that the 4x4 world was becoming an SUV world.
Yeah.
And even within the SUV world, increasingly too many electronics and too many moving bits, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So we wanted to go back, with these pillars around the design of the vehicle, yes, and we've gone back for a nostalgic design, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
But also, that's a design that's based on, the function of the vehicle over the form of the vehicle. If you've got a boxy design, you've got a package that works really well in terms of what you can put underneath it, what you can put in it, what you can stack on top of it, and what you can tow. And if that means you end up with an iconic shape that is shared by many 4x4 brands, well, that's the reason. So we started with that, but then also we had to build the other pillars into it, and they were durability and capability. We've gone to the market and we didn't try to find the cheapest widget from around the globe to be an auto assembler, because that's what most auto companies are these days. They are assemblers of bits that they get from tier 1 suppliers. And so we went to the best of the best. And that's why, we went to BMW for an iconic 6-cylinder engine that's millions of units in operation. It's already been on market for a number of years, and we knew that we could tailor it and adapt it for our application. We went to ZF because of their reputation with the auto transmission. We went to Tremec because they knew a thing or two about, gear-driven, transmissions. So we got them to design a gear-driven transfer case. We went to Carraro for axles because they make great heavy-duty axles. We went to, Bosch for electronics, Recaro for interior, Brembo for brakes, and the list goes on. And that's what I think, whilst we're a new brand on the market, that's what gives us some cred. We can bring to the table some of the best suppliers around the world that many people would use to improve their vehicle.
No, definitely.
Sorry, that was a very long answer.
No, that'd be the hardest thing about starting a car brand. Like, you're competing with all these companies that have decades in legacy, and it's like, how do you differentiate yourself? How do you build trust with the customers, showing, we're building a vehicle that's designed to last this long and be this tough? You really got to use the best in the business to sort of get that across in a way.
Absolutely, and so I think that one was the suppliers that I mentioned. That's key. Of course, we employed into our company a lot of automotive expertise, so we brought on board a lot of historical knowledge and intellectual property. That's true. But of course, the other aspect of this was, from a design point of view and development point of view, we went to Magna, and Magna has got a very long history in developing 4x4 vehicles for military applications. They contract manufacture the G-Wagon, so credibility also comes from that. And I guess the final point to this is we acquired a manufacturing facility off Mercedes-Benz. So we acquired an existing workforce that were already working to exacting standards and safety and so on. And it's quite a modern plant. So we were able to rapidly turn that on and have it producing the Grenadier.
So you spoke last night briefly about the Quartermaster, which is the pickup variant of this car that's coming to Australia, not until really early next year, right?
Yeah, first half of next year.
Yeah, so that's obviously going to be competing against, all the new dual cab utes getting around, 79 series Land Cruiser, maybe, put up against a Raptor or something like that. How do you feel like you're going to break out in the dual cab market? Because obviously, dual cabs are huge in Australia. Everyone's got one, but you said last night, which got me really excited, was that you were planning on doing a cab chassis variant of the Quartermaster, which I think for Australia could be huge, because in Australia we love our canopies, we love our trays. Like, it's a huge industry just in that alone. So how do you think the Quartermaster is going to break out in the Australian market?
The ute market is massive. It's bigger than the wagon market for sure, but also it's quite diverse. I'd say that typically the lighter duty dual cab utilities, call it Team Thailand manufacturing. And they're going to have a lighter curb weight, and they kind of benefit from a higher payload by virtue of that, but a lot of them are still leaf sprung rear ends as well.
Yeah, of course,
So that's sort of let's say that's bookending one end of the market, and then bookending the other end of the market for me is the full-size American pickups that we get here now. But they don't tend to have a great payload. They're great at towing. They don't necessarily have high payload if you check their numbers, and not necessarily all of them make great off-road rigs until you go super upmarket, and you're looking at quite an expensive rig to have good off-road capability. For me, one of the heartlands of Australian dual cab ute market is obviously the 79. That's got a phenomenal following here in Australia. It's a brand that's absolutely earned its stripes. Full credit to what Toyota's done there. and that's a 70-year history. A 70-year overnight success. You could say, right?
That's it.
But the owners of it know its shortcomings as better than anybody, and that's where you see them spend huge amounts of money on adapting that vehicle to suit their needs. So I think that we can approach that segment. We already come with all-round coil-over 5-link suspension setup. We are also coming with beam axle. I think that if anybody wants to do their research and put the two vehicles up on a hoist and have a look at just the girth and size and weight of all the componentry, they will quickly discover just how heavy duty everything is.
Yeah.
It is absolutely built to be durable. It's built to last, and it's built to be reliable. But equally, it's got to be capable. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to, escape all amenity in a vehicle as well. You can still have some creature comforts. We're sitting here today.
Well, you got cup holders in here. The 79
we come with cup holders. It's true. We've got Recaro seats that already got great bolstering that hold you nice and tight when going over these tracks. There's safety features in the vehicle. We're protected by 6 airbags. There's a lot of things that we offer that others don't. And then what's under the bonnet, right? The diesel is the main act. We're 80% of our volume's in diesel.
Right.
So that's a twin turbo, peak torque 1200 RPM, 550 newton meters, 187 kilowatts of power. It's a really good package out of the box.
Yeah.
There's a V8 on the market that a lot of people love. We spoke about it a minute ago.
Yeah.
But it's 430 newton meters, give or take, out of the box, which we know that people then tune. Great. But once you start tuning it, you probably need to upgrade the clutch. There's other things that come with that, right?
Yeah.
So, and I know that people are willing to do that. There's evidence of that, and we see what the used car prices are as a result of all the investment people have made in those vehicles. I think what we can offer is a vehicle with a 5-year unlimited kilometre warranty that's already got great power, great fuel economy, great usable torque.
Yeah.
And check for anything else. Yeah.
Do you want us to put it through the bog hole, Justin?
You guys do what you want, right? So I don't know. Did the guys? Did they mention anything about it or?
No, they didn't
specify.
They've been pretty quiet actually.
I don't know how deep it is.
I don't think it would be.
I don't think it'd be that deep.
Maybe put it in
if Justin
put your
go. Maybe go.
Neutral first.
So neutral.
So there, low, yeah.
And let's just put the lockers on.
So go. You got to go rear first. So now just give that about a 2 second. Dang, leave that.
Yep.
Now it's in. Now do the same with the front one. Press it.
Flash.
Yeah, not too long. Yeah. Flashing. Go now. Drive forward. And that should lock everything up.
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Into the bog.
Now we're doing right.
Yeah. But don't get us bogged.
No. Oh, it's pretty deep.
Take another run at it. Yeah. There's a little hump there, I think.
Oh no! Don't tell me I just got this bogged.
I think you might be hung.
I think I might be.
Yeah. Can you?
Might need to use the winch. Come on. Yep.
Yeah.
Watch that on your right.
Yeah.
How many times I say don't go through it?
Oh, we
didn't
hear it. Yeah.
Well, you got 5 times when we go through it.
Oh, sorry. I think we can get out. We're about to get out.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Let's say go for it.
Give it another jab.
Yeah, I
reckon.
reckon I can do it.
There you go. Hold it in.
Okay, so then we'll get in front.
Yeah.
Get the tug out.
Tug out. Yeah. I reckon I can get out.
Can you go out backwards? Do you reckon?
Probably not.
I'll have a chat to him. Don't worry, because I gave you guys the green light on it.
Yeah.
So.
Sorry about that, Justin.
No, you're right. There you go. You're out.
I reckon it would have done it easy.
Yeah,
I just didn't want to push it too hard.
No, I think it just got hung up there.
Yeah,
And
I reckon I would have
that
just
hump in the middle.
Yeah. Sorry about that, Justin.
No, you're right. No, guys, I said okay. I would have done it.
If it was my car, I reckon I could push it through. I reckon I could do it.
Yeah.
I don't want it. It's a brand. It's, as I said to Liam, it's done 1,500 kilometres. So.
No, that's all right. That's what they're made for.
Everyone's gonna be like, who's that guy who drove through the bog hole when we get to camp? Everyone's gonna.
I'm sorry, mate, I was out the car. The guys around. We're heading to the water hole.
Well, at least we got the boss man in our car, so.
Yeah. Let's go through another one. All right, I'm gonna head this off with a pass.
Yeah, thanks. Justin's got a bat for us here.
How you going, guys? Good?
Hi, good.
How's your radio? Is it working okay?
It is now.
It was turned down. Actually, my bad here.
That's okay, mate.
We were chatting away, and we were like, "Should we go through?" And I went, "Yeah, why not, guys?" And we didn't realise it had come over the
all
radio.
good. Not a problem. Too easy.
So,
Yeah, that was
anyway,
bad.
we got out, and that was the main
We made
thing.
it out.
That's all right. Remember, guys, if you had driven in and had got stuck, Justin was going to walk through the mud and
Yeah.
Yeah, haul it out. No, I wasn't going to do that.
Now, as long as you're having fun, guys, it's all good.
Nah, it's alright.
Haul it
Thanks.
out. I was going to just say that you guys made me.
Yeah,
your own accord.
exactly right. Dodged the bullet.
Good one, buddy.
I didn't mean to do it. I just could not drive through the bog hole.
And the front bumper doesn't protrude that far, and neither does the rear.
Well, what do you think we were caught up on when we got stuck in that bog hole?
I think it was just limited tyre size. I think it's just the sort of thing you need 33s or more to get through.
Because it was literally just getting hung up. Like if you look under there, it was just getting hung up on the diff. And maybe here.
Yeah, that steering dampener does sit pretty low, doesn't it?
It's no lower than the bottom of the diff. It's the same height.
True. All right, Liam, honest impressions. How did the Grenadier fed up today compared to the Patrol? Like, how'd it go?
It's cool. It's obviously a lot different of a car, especially now with my car being on 35s and all that. It's a different animal to drive, but at the same time, you know, I've never driven an auto like this off-road, something with lockers and that sort of thing, and just like having, you know, it's all real stable and really controlled. So I reckon, yeah, anything in the high country, this thing would have no dramas, really. Like, until the limitation becomes the clearance of the tyres, it's not gonna have any issues anywhere. It's comfortable, it's got heaps of power too. Like the auto with that engine, yeah, it just works a treat. So yeah, it's a cool car, and who knows, maybe one day when you're not allowed to drive old Patrols anymore, you might still be allowed to drive these things.
Yeah, no, exactly. All right, so that's our day with the Ineos Grenadier wrapped up. It was such an awesome experience to actually get this thing out on the dirt and drive it ourselves on local tracks. So yeah, it's gonna be really interesting to see more of these pop up across Australia and to see, you know, what people do with them, how they modify them, what they do. It's gonna be really interesting to see, and I'm sure we'll start seeing them out on the tracks, you know, a lot more. So if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, get subscribed, let us know how you think this performed off-road, and we'll see ya in the next one.